Adding a new layer. To add a new layer to your project, click on the Layers tab. You can see it looks like a stack of white papers. Click on the Layer menu and select New Layer. In the layer name, we're going to change this name to Line. So just delete what's currently there and type in Line. Make sure Transparency is selected, and then click OK. Your line layer should be on top of your original image layer, so make sure that it is. If it's not, you can always just click on it and drag it up. Changing the brush shape. To change the brush shape, in the Toolbox menu, click the Paintbrush tool to select it. In the bottom right window, make sure the Brushes tab is selected. If not, click it to select it. Click the Configure this tab button and then click View as List. In the brush list, click the Pixel 3x3 brush. You may need to scroll up or down in the list to find it. Click the Tool Options tab. In the brush size box, click the down arrow until the brush size is 5. This will adjust the brush size to an appropriate size for drawing an outline. In the toolbox, click the Reset Foreground and Background Colors button. You can see here that this alternates the color between the foreground and background. Here, the foreground is white and the background is black. By switching it, now the foreground is black and the background is white. Start tracing the photo. To trace a line around the outer edge of the image in a photo, make sure the Layers tab is selected. Next, make sure the Line layer is selected. Using your paintbrush tool, move carefully around the edge of your image. You can see here that I'm going pretty slow so that I can stick close to the image and not make mistakes. However, if I do make a mistake, I can easily fix it by hitting Ctrl-Z, and that will remove anything that I've done up to this point. We'll work our way around the bear. We're still going pretty slow. Remember, you're not going to be perfect at this the first time you try, so don't give up, and if you need to start over, make sure you start over. Around the second ear, and we'll finally finish where we started. Finish tracing the photo. In the top window in the Layers tab, make sure the Line layer is selected. If not, click it to select it. In the bottom area in the Brushes tab, click Pixel 3x3 to select it. In the top window in the Layers tab, make sure the Line layer is selected. If not, click it to select it. In the bottom area in the Brushes tab, click Pixel 3x3 to select it. Then we'll click on the Tools Option tab. In the brush size box, click the down arrow until the brush size is 3. This will adjust the brush so that we have the correct size to put in detail. Now, in the image window, let's add our details. So, we'll draw around the inside of this ear. Next, we'll draw around this eye. Then we'll move to the other eye. Finish out this other ear. Let's draw around the nose. Then the stomach area. And then finally, we can add the claws on the bear, just by drawing single lines. Adding another new layer. Let's add a new layer to our project. We'll go to Layer, select New Layer. Our New Layer dialog box comes up. Let's give this one the name Color. Make sure transparency is selected and click OK. We want to make sure our line layer is on top. So you can click the line layer and drag it, or you can use the arrow buttons in the menu to move it up. Adding another new. Changing the brush color. To change the brush color, in the bottom window, make sure the Brushes tab is selected. In the brush list, click the pixel 3x3 brush. In the toolbox, click the Foreground Color button. This opens the Change Foreground Color window. Using this box, choose a color that you would like to use. Then select the shade of the color that you would like to use, and click OK. Fill in the outline's color. To fill in the image with a color, in the Layers tab, make sure the color layer is selected. I'm going to turn this bear brown, so let's click on our foreground color. I'm going to select a brown shade. Now let's go back to my brush. Since this is a rather large area to fill in, I'm going to change my brush size to a bigger size so that I can fill it in pretty quickly. You can see I'm just kind of moving around the edge, filling in the area, being careful not to go outside the lines. As I fill in the edge, I can get a little bit faster. As you can see, I went ahead and completed filling in the bear. Let's go ahead and change our foreground color again. This time we're going to choose a black color, and we'll hit OK. And we're going to change our brush size to a smaller size since we're going to be filling in the eyes and the nose. We'll need a smaller brush to fill in the details. So using this brush, I'll go ahead and color in the ear, and then move over to the nose and start coloring it in. Then I'll do this eye and this ear and the other eye. You may be thinking that this picture isn't exactly what you want it to be. Don't worry if you're not too happy with the outcome of your picture. Remember, we're just beginning and we're just getting started, so we'll get there. Hiding the original layer. Let's learn how to make the layers invisible. Make sure that the Layers tab is selected. And then next to the original image, click on the eye icon. As you can see, the original image disappears. Let's look at what happens when we click on the eye icon on the color layer. The color we added disappears. Let's look at what happens when we click on the eye icon on the line layer. The line we drew disappears. Let's make sure that all the layers are visible by making sure that each of the eye icons are visible. Adding a colorful background. Let's add a colorful background to our picture. So we're going to add a new layer, so we'll go to Layer, New Layer. Let's name this layer Color Background. Click OK. We need to make sure that our color background layer is under the color layer. So we'll use our down arrow to move it below the color layer. The order of our layers should now be Line, Color, Color Background, and Image. Make sure the color background layer is selected. In the Toolbox menu, click the Fill bucket, and then let's click on the foreground color. Let's pick a pretty blue color to put in the background. Click in the picture, and it automatically fills the entire picture the color that I chose.